Saturday Social, brought to you by EA Sports FC with PlayStation 5.
Welcome back to Saturday Social, where Joe and I are joined by two men who haven't agreed on anything at all throughout the show. Yeah, Buvey and Robbie. So we thought two options. One, we could calm it down and move on, or we could crank it up even more and do true or false, which is what we're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need to lie down after this, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it's very simple, isn't it? We're going to read out a statement about some footballing news from this week. The guys are going to tell us if they think it's true or false, and then debate between them over it.
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yes.
All right, let's do the first one then. Massive news yesterday, wasn't it? That Xabi Alonso has opted to stay at Bayer Leverkusen. Huge. So we want to know, true or false, has he made the right decision?
Oh,
wow.
False.
Both gone false.
That's
no
my
loyalty
gut.
in this game anymore.
No. I understood it because I think he sees an opportunity with the Leverkusen, with Bayern Munich changing manager, going back to Nagelsmann, looking very weak. I think he also understands that Liverpool, maybe with FSG, maybe not investing in the way that he might need to be successful instantly at Liverpool. He might see Bayer Leverkusen's opportunity to do well even in the Champions League next season and win the league title next season. So I see why. But if Liverpool come calling at any point in your managerial career, it doesn't matter if you're ready, you have to go.
Yeah, and Robbie, you agree for the first time today with Buvey.
For the first time today, I mean, Liverpool and Bayern Munich, I mean, two huge clubs like that, he may not get that opportunity again. Suppose Leverkusen have a poor season next year, then they won't want him. So I just think, especially the Liverpool one.
Just to stick up for him in his decision here, if he believes in that project and he thinks he's got Bayern on the ropes a little bit, and maybe, you know, the Real Madrid job might open up in a year's time, if he goes and wins it back to back, I mean...
Yeah,
and Real Madrid's
I respect him that he's backed himself. I respect him that he's probably looking at it that way. But Liverpool and Bayern, these are two huge clubs. And I think at Liverpool, if he came in at Liverpool, he'd get a bit of time as well, because I think the fans would understand that, you know, he's not going to be Klopp straight away. You know, so I think he's making a mistake.
Do you think he's closed the door to Liverpool then? Do you know what I mean? Now that he said no to them once...
No, football's a very long game. Look at Jose Mourinho. I think if you asked a Chelsea fan in 2008, would Jose Mourinho ever go to Man United? Would he ever go to Spurs, with all due respect? No way. But these managers are they've got long careers. There's a world he manages 2 or 3 clubs in the Premier League in a 20-year span.
Got to give a shout out to Alonso as well from a loyalty perspective. A lot of fans pointing out the fact that he's early on in his managerial career, only 42 years of age. The season that he's having, the fans absolutely love him there. It's obviously there, but so I think it's worth pointing out from a loyalty perspective. It actually links in very nicely to our next one because we're sticking with the theme of management. I'm saying true or false, Ruben Amorim will be the next Liverpool manager. So obviously that Leverkusen news affects Liverpool. True or false for this one? What are you saying?
Long way favourite, big time favourite at the moment.
Yeah.
True. Go on, Robbie. Why you were sort of on the fence a bit there?
He's a very good manager. He's done brilliantly there. I remember they turned us over Sporting. And I remember his style of football was really good. He's an up-and-coming manager.
He's only 39 years old.
Yeah, and I think if that offer goes out to him, I think he'll take it, definitely. So I can see that happening.
Yeah, won Sporting's first league title in 19 years.
Very similar to Bayer Leverkusen when they win their first title in the Bundesliga era, I think it is. But yeah, I think the issue for him will be the Portuguese league, with all due respect. I think Liverpool will look at a De Zerbi more and see if that's possible. If it's not, maybe it will be Amorim, but I think it'll be the Brighton manager first.
Do you think De Zerbi?
I think De Zerbi.
How do you think he would do at Liverpool?
I think he'd be fantastic. And Liverpool fans have to realise that the manager after, you know, Wenger struggled, the manager after Sir Alex Ferguson struggled. The next manager, he needs a lot of experience in the Premier League just to keep it.
De Zerbi,
good
though,
transition.
has been a bit... This season has been a bit up and down.
Lots of injuries, though, Robbie.
Do you not think that'd be a good fit, De Zerbi at Liverpool, Robbie?
Sorry?
You don't think that'd be a good fit, De Zerbi?
The style of football the fans would enjoy, but he's been a bit up and down, De Zerbi, and I don't know. And plus, there'd have to be a big payoff to Brighton, wouldn't there, to get him out the door? Maybe a lot less. It might be easier to get Amorim.
Yeah.
From,
what do you guys think about the names that are being discussed here? Because, you know, Xabi Alonso is so sort of highly thought of at the moment, and Klopp is such a massive figure, and now Liverpool are turning to, you know, Amorim, fairly unknown quality.
In terms of the experience compared to Klopp.
A European top 5 league anyway, still in 39.
It's a wake-up call. That's why I talked about FSG, the owners, because I think the owners have been fantastic, but they've been very smart. Salah came in for cheap money, and Mane and all these guys. They've not spent as much as Man City, for example, or Man United or Chelsea.
No one spent as much as you, though.
No, Man United spent more than us in the last 6 years. Chelsea spent more than us in the last 2 years. You spent hundreds of millions of pounds and not won the league title in 20 years.
You spent more than you.
You spent loads on a stadium. Guess what? They spent loads on a stadium. It's not even the best stadium in London anymore, because Tottenham got a better stadium.
It's better than your stadium.
It's a great stadium.
Better than yours.
You wasted all your football football potential on a stadium
Better
that's
than your
now
stadium.
old. Well done.
And we can fill it as well.
Yeah, well done. But ultimately, Liverpool, the FSG model will have to change a little bit for the next manager. There's going to have to be some serious investment. They're playing with a lot of kids. They're playing on adrenaline, but they need some serious investment.
All right, let's move on to the next one, and it does involve your two sides here. It's the big one on the weekend, of course, Man City versus Arsenal. So this is true or false, the winner of Man City-Arsenal will win the Premier League this season?
Oh, straight away.
I'd say false as well.
False. Why?
Well, it didn't matter last season because obviously we beat them home and away and beat them in the FA Cup last season, absolutely smashed them. But they threw away the league title. Let's not forget, by the way, talk about history. The biggest capitulation in the history of Premier League football, even greater than Kevin Keegan, was with Arsenal. 247 days. That's nearly a calendar year, and they bottled it. So it is them who bottled it last season against the likes of Southampton. Can beat them last season. Brighton, West Ham, shocking.
Robbie.
When he was holding it, you see his hand going like this. I'll tell you, he's very nervous about tomorrow. He's so nervous. The reason why I say false, there's 3 great teams going for it, right? It's still really, really tight. I mean, we're talking about the game tomorrow, but if Liverpool beat Brighton,
good point.
They go top of the league, right? We can't discount them. I think they've done brilliantly when you consider the amount of injuries they've got. It's going to be who can hold their nerve from now till the end of the season. It's not going to be all on that game tomorrow. I do feel it's more significant for us. I feel that if we were to win it, it could be one of those things, because one of the things he is a bit right in is that we did fall away last season. It could be one of those games that if we won that, we're like, well, hold on, if we go there and won, we ain't won there since 2015, why can't we go to the other places?
Yeah. So if you go there and win tomorrow, do you think you'll win the league?
It's still too early to say.
Who wins the league? Who is lifting the Premier League trophy?
Give it large earlier. Now he's sat on the fence.
Who wins the league, Robbie?
Who wins the league? If you're going to ask me, I'm going to say Arsenal.
So if you're right and you're going to win the league, it should be true.
I'm going to back my team. I'm back it. Right now, I feel this season, honestly, so far we've been the best team in the league. You haven't beaten us, and Liverpool haven't beaten us.
I agree.
And we've been, but the season ain't over yet, as we found last.
They're fantastic. I think they're going to win.
Who wins the league?
I think they're going to.
He's only saying he's trying to do a reverse psychology.
What have you? You're
trying to do we don't want. I don't want nothing from you. I don't
What's
want
going on here? You are top of the team.
I don't want
You're
nothing
absolutely
from
fantastic. You scrape past
What are you
Porto
gonna do?
for
When
your
are you
first
gonna
win.
finish?
Can I finish? Your first win in the Champions League knockout stages in over 10 years, I think it was, against Porto. You scraped past
the
Porto.
Champions League was
well
until
done.
about 10
Well, we've
years.
won it, unlike you. You've not won any European competitions, by the way. But ultimately, you're top of the table. Absolutely fantastic. Social media FC, top of the table.
Asterisk FC. That's what I call it.
Let's move on then.
Asterisk FC is what they call it.
Social media FC.
No, asterisk.
Right, moving on. Next up, we're sticking with the Arsenal Man City, which is great for the debate. Not good for timings. True or false? Pep Guardiola has a better Premier League legacy than Arsene Wenger. True or false? What are you saying?
Come on, Robbie. False.
False.
Back in Wenger.
Because I think when Wenger came in, he changed the Premier League, right? It was such a significant change. What he did with diet, what he did with style of play, just everything about what he did is what everybody else has come in afterwards and followed. Pep Guardiola, unbelievable manager. Obviously, his record is it's unreal.
Seen.
But this guy, he changed the Premier League, and he has one thing that no one has ever done.
Here we go.
The Premier League.
The Toys R Us trophy. We get the little golden plastic Lego trophy.
Let me just say it again, right? Because your question is the Premier League.
The Lego
talk
trophy.
About trebles and that. The man went a whole season unbeaten.
Drawing.
The season before,
You can get relegated.
The season before, he'd lost one game. He said,
get relegated.
I can do it. We can go the whole season unbeaten. And he did it. And it's never, ever been done since. And even though you've got guys like this who'll try and come in and diss it, secretly, he would love to silence me by getting it done.
But the question is, legacy.
The legacy
Pep or
Wenger's
Wenger?
is better.
What's better? Guardiola coming in and changing English football. How many league sides throughout the English football pyramid play out from the back? It happened before Guardiola, I'm not saying that, and Wenger was a massive proponent of that. He was amazing at playing out from the back. But come on, there was a change when Guardiola came in. There are so many sides now. Look at, we talked about De Zerbi. Like, De Zerbi's literally a student of Guardiola. There are
Arsene
so many.
Wenger paved the way for people like
Yeah, but you're talking about...
There wasn't even a lot of foreign managers
You're
before.
talking about Wenger stopping Tony Adams from having a burger on a Friday night. We're talking about Guardiola changing the philosophy of this country. Changing the philosophy.
No, but Arsene Wenger paved the
manager, Robbie, he's a treble-winning manager.
He did more than that, to be fair.
He's a treble-winning manager.
He paved the way.
Come on.
He paved the way for managers like Guardiola to come in.
Paved the way for what? Not winning any European silverware.
Up
winning
until
an FA Cup against Hull City. Well done. 10 years of winning a few FA Cups. Well
He
done.
went a whole season unbeaten.
I have to say that was probably
You get relegated.
The burger is completely...
that was one of my favourite lines.
It's totally disrespectful.
Such a wind-up, man.
diet thing.
This is why.
That was very quick.
These City fans, I'm telling you, right? These City
Right. Let's
Yeah, well, listen, right?
Let's go to the next one.
Why? At least our manager stopped players from having burgers. Your manager were giving them burgers at Calvin Phillips. Right?
that's not personal.
Hey,
That's
harsh.
Take
Come
that
on.
back from
Did
Calvin.
you?
Not having that.
Apologise.
It's your manager
Apologise,
who
Robbie.
Your
Apologise.
It was his manager who said
Robbie.
he put on weight.
Robbie, come on.
Respectful, man.
Come on.
I think he's in great shape.
Oh, here we go.
Robbie,
his
that-
manager.
flip from
That
It
was
came from
awful.
his manager.
Those were the thoughts of
Those are the thoughts of Robbie. Move it on.
Those are
Let's
the
go to the next one.
Guardiola, not me.
All right, next up,
gosh.
let's
Wow.
quickly
Where
touch
we
on
go
England,
next?
shall we? And Kobbie Mainoo, who had an amazing week,
Baller.
didn't he? What a player. So, true or false, Kobbie Mainoo should start for England at the Euros? True.
Straight in.
Straight in now, I
Buvey,
love
let's
it.
go to you first.
Well, tournament football is littered with examples where we don't see a player, they come in and change the national setup. Look at Wayne Rooney in 2004. Kobbie Mainoo, a different player, of course, in terms of position, but Kobbie Mainoo is due a moment where he bursts onto the scene. National sides that England will play won't know what he's like to play against. He's playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world. He's been your best player this season, arguably. He takes it on his shoulders. Is he good enough to start in midfield? Yes. That's all Gareth Southgate has to think about. He doesn't have to overcomplicate it. Doesn't have to wear his cardigan and all that. All he has to do is put Kobbie Mainoo in midfield and we'll win the Euros.
It's that simple. Mainoo midfield, England lift the trophy.
If he gets the lineup right, and it starts with Kobbie Mainoo, getting Phil Foden involved every game as well.
I agree with a lot of what he says. Mainoo should start. I think I saw him for the first time pre-season when Man United played Arsenal. And I was like, who's this kid? He's all right. And his temperament is brilliant. And if he's a bit like when Saka came in, I mean, even though they're really young, they're good enough.
Yeah.
And I think he's good enough right now. He's a really, really good player. And, I'd love to see him starting for England.
I think it's that problem position as well for England, isn't it? There's not
Yeah.
like one player that has really nailed down that slot. There's a lot of competition there. So if he has another
Depends on the system, doesn't it? Whether he goes to
he
two
has another
sitters or
2
one
good
or...
months with Man United, wins an FA Cup or something.
Should definitely be
I
starting.
have to say as well, I was at both the games, and he's one of those players, there's a real excitement. When you're in the ground, there's a buzz, there's fans off the feet, there's a real excitement, not just from United fans, but like on
he's
his
a great
ceiling,
player.
which is really high. Sticking on the England theme, obviously Ivan Toney scored his debut goal, didn't he, in the week? So the next one is true or false. Ivan Toney should sign for Arsenal over Man United. Bit of context for this. Thomas Frank said Ivan Toney will most likely be sold in the summer, and Tony's obviously said he has ambitions to play for a big club despite being happy at
Linked to Man
Brentford.
United,
So
happily this week.
we've
Linked to you in
seen
the
links
past.
with Man United and Arsenal. But should he sign for Arsenal over Man United, true or false? Why true, Robbie?
If he wants to win things.
What have you won?
No, I'm going to hit him, though.
Don't hit.
What have you won?
No, I'm not going to hit him, don't worry. No, I think if he's looking at it purely at the two clubs and he's saying, right, who's going to win something the soonest, it'll be Arsenal. I think Arsenal right now, they're moving upwards. I think United at the moment, they're going through a transition period. There's lots of changes at United.
Where would he start? Which team would he get more game time at?
I'm not saying that we should get Ivan Toney. I'm saying that he's one of the options. If he came to Arsenal, I'd be more than happy. I think he's a great player. But, I think if he came to Arsenal, he'd do well. He's an excellent player. He's got a great temperament as well. He really believes in himself. That's one of the things I really like about him.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be against seeing him.
Doesn't he? He gets a bit of stick for being quite confident and saying,
I love it. I love it, though. I love the fact that he backs himself. You look at the guy's history, where he's, come, Northampton, Peterborough, came into the Premier League, said, listen, I'll score the goals, and he has. Every time he's said something, he's delivered on it.
Yeah.
I love his temperament.
Buvey, false for you. So you saying Man United's a better option for him?
If he's only got two options on the table in the summer, if it's Arsenal Spurs, if it's Arsenal Chelsea, it's always Arsenal 1,000,000%. Their project is even better than Man United's. But sometimes in football, if Man United come calling, I know it's a gamble. I don't think they're very good. With the new ownership, we don't know where they're going to go. But Man United are one of the biggest clubs ever. You live with that for the rest of your life. you know, you could go to Arsenal and, you know, they've never won a European Cup and it's a few FA Cups. In the last
We're
10
still
years.
bigger than you, and we're still a bigger club than
well
you.
done.
We're still a bigger club worldwide. We've still got bigger support.
I admit it's a better project.
So
better
you know,
project.
it defeats what you just said.
But you go to Old Trafford and you think this is incredible history. We go
we
to
can't get back onto the Arsenal.
I know.
We're a bigger club.
All I'm going to say is I'd love Ivan Toney at Man United.
Yeah, OK. Well done. You jumped in there. I love how they got back to Arsenal, Man City every single time when we're talking about the Liverpool manager.